Hey guys, the crypto markets are pumping right now. A lot of people are making tons of gains at the moment with Bitcoin and crypto as things have actually started to shift in the market. And so on today's video, we're going to talk about what is happening, what set this off, and is this a full trend change where we need to go risk on, meaning we need to be in the market, we need to buy because this is the time to make money. So with that said, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do so below. I try to give more videos each and every week, market updates like today, as well as new videos that teach you tips and strategies around the crypto market. I'm working on another great one right now, so be on the lookout for that. So if you want notifications when that comes out, I think it's going to be tons of help. Make sure to click subscribe below. So let's go ahead and get rolling. Bitcoin right now, $104,000. This is the daily chart, meaning that overall, we're not very far away, around 2K away from the highest Bitcoin daily close if it can continue to move up. So Bitcoin looks fantastic. Now, there's a lot of cryptos currently that are outperforming it. I'll go ahead and explain that and talk to you about that in a minute. But let's go ahead and keep our eyes on Bitcoin because we've seen that we just closed this week below the highest weekly close Bitcoin has ever had, and that was back in December. That was around $104,000. Now, Bitcoin is right underneath that. You can see that white line right here. Bitcoin just needs to break a couple of $100 more by the end of the week to have the highest weekly close ever, and I think that we get it because a lot of momentum is starting to shift. And so if we do break this weekly close, that will be a break of the overall structure, which should be bullish overall for the market, which I think will continue to roll not only into Bitcoin, but you're also going to notice that Ethereum has been red hot. Now, if we go ahead and look at the heat map, this is the weekly performance for Bitcoin. It is up 10%, but check it out over here. Ethereum is up almost 50%, which is just mind blowing because everyone was writing off Ethereum just about a week ago. XRP is up 20%, and as you can see, a lot of these other coins, Solana 20%, BNB, Dogecoin is up 40% substantially. So crypto is green right now. The key, though, to making money is to make sure you're in the right tokens. And so we'll go ahead, like I said, and take a look at that shortly, but just understanding that ETH is hot rodding right now, meaning that in terms is it's just blowing everybody out of the water. And so I've got this, I did this kind of a meme, this giant magnet, because I feel like 2850 is a giant magnet for Ethereum price right now. So we're seeing the weekly strong, we're seeing the daily strong, and overall it's going to have another higher high on the daily. And I think bottom line, I think Ethereum is due to hit almost $3,000. In my previous video of last week, I said, hey, before you know it, Ethereum was around 2,000. I said, I think it's going to hit $2,500 to $3,000, and we're already above $2,600. It's just a massive pump right now just because of the changes with Ethereum and what's going on. It was due in Solana as well, too. Now, Solana is definitely, I think it has a lot more upside. And I said if it broke above this line, this green line right here, this trend would come back down, retest that, move up. And that's exactly what it's done. So oftentimes, whenever there's a major structure broken out, the price will kind of come back and retest that area. Those are the perfect times to buy. And so that was a perfect time to buy Solana at around 140, 145. And now we're up to 178. Don't be shocked if Solana moves up to this white line and retests this $200 line. And so I do think that those big round numbers like $200 are areas of psychological take profit for people. So I do imagine that people will take some profit at around $200. But again, none of that matters. I think bottom line, you do need to take profit if you're in any coin, but I'm saying none of this matters as far as the uptrend. Nothing can go directly straight up. It's not healthy to go straight up. So these types of pullbacks that you're seeing here and there around 10%, 15% on the way up is a fantastic thing. If you're a Solana fan, Ethereum, Bitcoin, or anything, you want to make sure that there are dips in between to give some relief to those rallies. So bottom line, the trend is changing, and a big part of that is because of, well, we'll go ahead and take a look at Coinbase in a minute, but President Trump as it says here, President Trump says the U.S. has achieved a total trade reset with China. That is the big news. The trade wars are better now. We're fixing those as far as what we've seen as far as the world economy. And that has been the biggest thing that I talked about. Not even the Fed rate cuts, right? It was the economy, it was the trade wars. Can Trump do something about that? Can China and US come together? And at the moment, we've seen that they have come together, and the market has been pumping since originally the England, Great Britain, the UK, and the US also had a trade agreement, and then it, of course, moved into China. I think anybody who thought otherwise is crazy. I mean, you had to know that this was going to happen. And so there's been a big pivot in how people have seen the market currently, and everybody is starting to feel the shift in that trend. And so even President Trump, as he always does, he is the best KOL alive, says that the stock market is going to go a lot higher. And if the stock market goes a lot higher, I can guarantee you that Bitcoin and crypto will follow it. It is a risk-on environment. And with him stating those types of things, with the China and UK, the trade wars, those trade agreements have come together. All this, as well as we're seeing potentially in the next month that the Fed could potentially still cut rates. Those would all be bullish signs of a shift in the trend, meaning an uptrend after pulling back from January to March to April. And with that said as well, a lot of people are like, selling may go away, but there's been massive selling already. And so my thought on that is that this has totally changed kind of the ongoing schedule of stocks that's typically you sell in May. Crypto can pump in summertime, right? We've seen it before. We've seen crypto summer, but I do believe we're getting another crypto summer this time, because I think in May and June, July, things could look pretty good in the next few months. So yes, there's a lot of bullish overall people euphoria, but I think you need to also be smart. If you're not in, if you feel sidelined, you need to be patient. Okay. It's never smart. And I'll go ahead and click this off where you can just see my face. It's never smart to chase pumps. Always wait for pullbacks to happen. Nothing is financial advice, but just to let you know, it's so important if you want to not buy a pump typically and be exit liquidity, even regardless of what token it is or what coin or what asset, you want to make sure to wait until there's a pullback. And so typically you'll see those even in a bullish environment. It is a lot safer to wait and do that rather than chase. There's a lot of things in crypto right now that are pumping that I'm like, oh, I missed this coin or I missed that token. There's always another trade. Okay. It's so easy to feel like you're sidelined. It's so easy to feel like you missed out and you're never going to make money again. But I can guarantee you, there's always another crypto token, coin, a new trade every week. And it'll happen. It might not happen today or tomorrow, but you have to be patient, be wise, and know where to look. And one thing that I recommend that you can do is you can go somewhere like to CoinGecko. Excuse me, guys. And you can go to CoinGecko and you can look at the current top 100 to 200 market cap tokens, okay? And you can actually click the 7-day period and see what tokens have actually pumped the most. And so some might say, those are the tokens you want to be in. And I would say you want to watch for rotation, meaning that money tends to rotate. You definitely want to be in something that has a good narrative and that is hot. But my point being is if you go up to these top gainers and you're trying to buy Goon Coin or Launch Coin on Believe, you know, it's already up 900%. What are you doing chasing that? You don't need to chase a 900% pump. It's better to look for other things that have yet to pump. And so what I think overall are tokens. You can look at trending, like, hey, Anon is on Sonic chain. And so if you trade on chain, understanding that there are other chains as well where things have not yet to pump. So that's one that could be decent when you see trending, but you don't see the overall percentage of gain be like 100 or 200%, right? If it's up 10%, there's still a lot of upside when it comes to crypto, because we know that Bitcoin is only up 10%. But all of these tokens right here over the past 7 days, this is how far up they've gained, in 100%, 88, 66%. I'm likely not going to be trying to chase dog with hat. I'm not going to chase Pepe. I'm not going to chase Floke. I'm not going to chase these things that have pumped substantially over the past few days because I know that money rotates and it can rotate fast. And even though these have maybe a lot more upside, I would rather scroll down and look at maybe or some things that have not pumped that much, right? So again, we see Tron and BNB and I'm not promoting any of these. Not that I'm even in BNB or Tron, but I'm saying only 10% pump. We've seen that another big one. Again, Sonic is only up 20%, has its own chain that could really do a lot here in the coming months. XRP is up 20%. Again, Solana is up 25%, excuse me. And so one specifically that I've been keeping an eye on is Avalanche. So that feels like it's a top 30 to 40 altcoin. Actually, it's actually 16 overall. And for it to not pump and be lagging behind, I think that we could eventually see AVIX catch up quite a bit. Chainlink as well too. So looking at these charts, knowing that, oh, here's the AVIX chart, knowing that, okay, it still has a lot of room. And there's a massive gap right here between $27 and $35. Okay, so that's what, 30% gap or so. So I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of room to trade things, to maybe bid in things, to get into things such as like AVIX that have not yet pumped substantially that will likely pump overall. If the entire tide is moving up together, then just understanding that could be something overall that could be a good trade. So I'm watching AVIX or Avalanche. I've actually bought in a little bit of it right now, but overall, just understand that this is probably a good token to take a look at. That's a top 25 token that has only pumped around 20%. And it's not going anywhere because we know AVIX is on all the top exchanges. We know that AVIX has good volume, good liquidity. You can find it everywhere. It's popular. So I think overall, it's probably going to do well. And those are the things that I want to be in. I don't want to necessarily chase things that have pumped 100%, 200% in the past weeks. That's what you want to do. If you want to tip a strategy of what to look for, if you feel like you've missed out, look for those tokens in the top 100 to 200 that have yet to move really hard. Okay, again, make sure they have good liquidity. Make sure that, again, you don't want an exchange token like KuCoin token because you can only buy it, you can only buy it in one place, right? You want to make sure that you find stuff like AVIX, etc. So I'm doing this totally live without any editing. So if you hear me coughing, I apologize. I have no water here while I'm doing this video, but this is why I just wanted to make a quick video because I got some good stuff coming that I will have out this week. But I wanted to make a quick video on the market to give you tips on if you feel sidelined, what do you do? And I think that this is a great strategy. Go into CoinGecko, go through and see what has yet to move up. Look at the charts, and if you can see something like Avalanche, it looks like it has a higher high and higher low. It's uptrending. Then it's probably safe to say that could continue on an uptrend, and eventually it could get some mind share narrative that, hey, this token has not yet to pump, so maybe this is something to be in, and people follow in, of course. And it's always better not to be last in the token. You don't want to be in Avalanche when it hits 36. You want to be in it when it's sub $25 or whatever. Okay. So with that said, that's just something that I'm looking at as far as tokens right now. But bottom line, things are green. Things are fantastic. The tide is rising, and it seems like things are shifting as far as the trend goes because of the trade wars, because of what's going on with the economy and figuring that out. And the only other thing that I was going to say is that Coinbase, this is huge. Coinbase is the first crypto company in the S&P 500. They are set to join the S&P 500 in the future. That is massive for crypto. So I just say this in the video because crypto is not going anywhere. And so I think it's so often we see in these bearish market environments where everything pulls back 50 to 80% that we get really sad and upset and crypto's dead. And before you know it, crypto companies are joining the stock index. ETFs are here, and hedge funds and banks are getting in. And before you know it, things continue to move up. Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up, Solana, whatever your favorite altcoin is, tends to go up. And so those are the times you want to be in the market. But heads up, be encouraged because crypto's not going anywhere. Massive news for Coinbase. Coinbase stock is up substantially too. And so I think bullish things to come overall with that. So with that said, keep an eye on the market. I'll give some more market updates. Hopefully you can follow that tip as far as finding tokens that have yet to pump, go ahead and take a look on CoinGecko and take a look through those. But again, I gave you Avalanche. I think that one could be potentially a good one overall. Again, my personal opinion, not financial advice, but I'll go ahead and make some more videos, some good stuff coming this week. So be on the lookout for that. And make sure if you've not yet subscribed, you got to do that because I'll have some more information that I think that you'll get a lot out of this week. All right, with that said, you guys have a great rest of your day. Trade safe, and I'll see you on the next one.